You don't need a perfect plan, a ton of money, or years of experience to build a real business. You need the right moves and the willingness to take them. That's what this show is about, helping you build a business that gives you real financial freedom and control over your time. Let's get into it.
There she is, a brand new, fully loaded Range Rover. Thank you, everyone. Happy Monday to you. We have a great show for you today, something that I really dug deep into to uncover what I'm about to say today. And I say it that way because I think that this topic is very overlooked and very underrated, but the ROI is huge. It can actually make or break your entire business. It might even sound funny to you, but the episode today is about why getting in shape will make you richer and why nobody talks about this. So I'm going to say it again. In this video, I'm going to explain why getting in shape will actually make you richer and why no one's talking about it. Let's welcome our usual suspects here. We have my mom. Thanks. McKay says hi to my mom. I love that. Everybody must be sleeping. Michael Fortson's here. Hey, Mike. It's good to see you comment. I know Mike watches the show, but I don't know if I've ever seen him comment. So that's nice. Thanks, Mike. All right. I'm going to get right into it. And before I begin, I have to make some announcements. Today's show is brought to you by and powered by Jobber, and I am your host, John Margalit. For those of you that don't know me, that might be new here, I'm the founder of Happy Home Helpers. It's a 7-figure remote cleaning business in Las Vegas. And this year, I'm going to do over $2 million in 2026. And it's only my fourth full year in business. So I'm very excited about that. I'm also the creator of Rags to Riches University, where I teach aspiring entrepreneurs and cleaning business owners how to start and grow profitable cleaning businesses using my proven sales and marketing systems. Now, previously, I was brought in by a tech company on Wall Street years ago to scale the company. And I was a key part of explosive growth that led to a 9-figure exit. And that's where I really built and fine-tuned high-performing sales teams and customer acquisition systems. I've been featured in Jobber. I've been featured in Entrepreneur, Yahoo Finance, and my cleaning business was named Best Cleaning Service in Las Vegas by City Council. I was also featured in Jobber, actually. I was on their podcast several times, and I was a keynote speaker at the Jobber Summit. I opened up for Gary Vee and Cody Sanchez. That was a lot of fun. All right. Now, everybody loves this segment of the show. I'm going to quickly log in. I'm going to show you the numbers from yesterday. I saw some invoices being run this morning, but since we're still in training, we're going to leave that for later. So I'm going to log in. I'm going to share my screen right here, and I'm going to do it really fast, and then I'm going to get to today's show, because today's show is really, really important. It's much more important than you would think, the impact that it has. If everybody can see my screen, let me know. McKay, Scott, somebody give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you can see the screen. Take a sip of my coffee, and then we'll move on. McKay is always the first to jump in and tell me if you can see the screen. I believe that everybody can. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward, but I would love just some validation just to be sure. I'm going to go ahead and hit the login button here. This is just my Jobber dashboard. Jobber is the hub of all my business operations. This is how I run my business. You can create client profiles, as you can see here on the left. You can do scheduling, and you can schedule jobs and create them here, quotes, payments, invoices, all these sort of things. And there's a bunch of marketing features, so you can grow your business with this as well. And there's an AI receptionist to answer the phone for you if you need. So there's a bunch of things, but I'm going to go down to the reports tab here, and I'm going to focus on one of the main reports at the top, the transactions. This is all the credit card transactions that have been going on, and we can filter the date range. So just to take a look at yesterday is the last full day that's complete. I'm going to set a custom range here. That's why I did a custom range. And then I'm going to do the start date, the 26th, which was Sunday, and the end date, the 26th, which is also Sunday. I'm going to filter. And I'm going to scroll out and to the bottom, and you can see yesterday we did $7,472. And that was the total in credit cards just yesterday. And I think we had about $600 to $800 in cash, Venmo, Zelle, and checks. So not a bad day. That's what we're doing here. And every day is similar numbers. That's why we're on track to do about 165,000 this month, 170,000. And because I'm able to get such good results, I decided to teach people how to do this. And if you want similar results and you're interested in learning how to do this my way, I think it's the most proven system and blueprint on the market. And the people in the 2 programs that I offer have great success. So if you want me to help you grow your cleaning business, or if you want me to help you start a cleaning business, I can work with you in 2 ways. Number 1 is the Remote Cleaning CEO Accelerator Program. This is my operating system, my full training and weekly group coaching calls. You get to be on the private Discord server, and you can DM me. And if you need help, I answer anything that you need. That way you're never guessing and you can stay on track. This is for the person who wants clarity, accountability, and a very proven blueprint like I explained. The second way is the Founder Intensive. There's no way to get this program except for emailing me. Taj, if you could put my email up, that'd be great. And then after my email, I'll talk about the Jobber free trial as well, because I know you put that up earlier. Thank you. So this is the Founder Intensive. You can email me. This is a hands-on program. You get me and my team. You get everything in the Remote Cleaning CEO Accelerator, but you get implementation and precision. My team sets up your website, your marketing channels. We go through and set up your apps, and we just get everything connected and up and running just the same exact way that Happy Home Helpers is set up. That way you have the greatest chance of success, and you can literally replicate what we're doing. You also get to spend a week with my team behind the scenes, and you get to shadow them and see how they run the business. That's the most valuable learning experience anybody can offer you. And we're the only ones that do it because we're the only ones that really actually have a cleaning business that does these kind of numbers. So if you want a very hands-on learning experience, fully immersive, and you want the most guaranteed success that you can have, then you can apply. You can email me, john@johnmargalit.com, and I only work with people that are ready to execute. Just email me, jon@johnmargalit.com, if you have any questions or you would like to apply, and I will reply to that with the application. You can fill out the questions, and then we can see if you are a good fit. Taj, if you could put up one more time the Jobber link. If anybody wants to try Jobber, they can get a free trial using that link there, join.getjobber.com/John Margalit. This is the best CRM system on the market to run a cleaning business. And the nice thing about this link is that if you get it through my link, you can email me and we'll give you a free Jobber training. Tasha is the one who puts it on, or Shania, sometimes Teresa, one of the girls on the team, and they do a phenomenal job. I actually think that our training is better than what you can find on Jobber's website or YouTube channel, because we're talking about a specific application. We're talking about how to use Jobber for a cleaning business. And we'll take you through all our automations and other things that are set up. It's super valuable and it's free. You can take full advantage of it. All you have to do is get Jobber free trial through my link. It doesn't cost you anything. And then shoot me an email, which doesn't cost you anything. And you can take the free training, and that doesn't cost you anything either. So if you want to check it out, go for it. Now, I'm going to begin the show. And obviously, before we dive into the topic, I have to run you through why I'm here. And I just want everyone to know, if you're new and you feel stuck, I am here for you. If you are in a situation that you can't stand, or you hate your job and you're tired of trading your time for a paycheck, tired of building someone else's dream, tired of feeling like you don't have any real options or you're not sure what to do, I have been exactly where you are. And I'm very grateful that I was able to build my way out of it with a simple business. So now I want to help people do the same thing. Now, during this process, I'm going to try to explain it, but it's hard to explain because you become a different kind of person. You gain this confidence and you gain so much clarity and decisiveness that you in turn feel so much more capable and resilient. And then you can start to really create financial freedom and time freedom in your life. And during these topics, I always share my honest ideas and perspectives, and I try to give you simple frameworks about mindset, sales, marketing, and decision-making, because these are the things that you actually need to think and act like somebody who can build their own future. And just as important as the tactics, I always want this show to be a daily reminder that transformation is possible and that you're not crazy for wanting more and you're not alone in the journey as people continue to log in. And if you're watching this on replay on YouTube, and then you go to watch another episode, don't skip over this part. I come here every day because it's important. This transformation is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. And I think everybody needs the daily reminder. I think it really, really helps. The people that continue to show up in the program are the ones that win. The people that drop off usually don't get great results because they quit on themselves. So every show begins with the same question. And I ask it very intentionally. If you don't change anything in your life, if you just keep doing exactly what you're doing, you will very likely be in the same place 5 years from now. You'll be feeling the same frustration, the same lack of control, and the same resentments toward your job, or even just not resenting, just knowing and feeling inside that you are meant to do something greater than working at a company. Working at a company where perhaps you have upward mobility and perhaps it makes you comfortable. But you and I both know it will never help you reach your full potential or whatever you were put on this earth to do. But the good news is that if you committed to transforming your life, and I'm talking about real commitment, you don't have to leave your job. You can stay safe and comfortable and grind through. A lot of people do it. Half of the people in the program have jobs. But if you do that, you'll have a real chance. And in much less than 5 years, you can be exactly where you want to be. And then you can choose if you want to keep doing your job or if you want to build this thing. So you have to choose what hurts more. That's the real question. Continuing to endure that job or the situation that you can't hate, or enduring the discomfort of pursuing freedom and building something of your own. And you know the truth, but you avoid it. And that's the pain of staying the same. Doesn't have any upside. It just repeats. It keeps you stuck. But the pain of trying to change, of building something, learning, growing, failing, and then trying again, it gives you a real chance at a better life. The topic of the show today is why getting in shape will help you become richer. No one talks about this. Sometimes the gurus do. Sometimes I hear it. Most entrepreneurs out there are trying to fix their business, when the real problem is who is running it. And I'm going to say something today, and I do this often, that makes some of you uncomfortable, but I need you to hear it because it could be the most important shift that you make this year. I want to talk about something that doesn't get brought up enough in the business space. It's not leads and it's not systems. It's not pricing, although those things are very important. It's your body. Just got home from the gym, actually. Yeah, there you go, Aaron. Nice. Nice. Now, before you scroll away thinking this is a fitness video, stay with me, all right? Because this isn't about six-pack abs or protein shakes. This is about the version of you that actually is capable of building something real. And here's what I've noticed after building a cleaning business past $1 million, $1.5 million in revenue. The biggest thing that separated my best months from my worst months wasn't the market. It wasn't my employees. It wasn't even my strategy. It was actually just me, my energy, my clarity, and my mental state. And all that traces back to one thing: how I was able to take care of my body. Now, some of you know that I've been in a very tough situation. I lost 46 pounds, and I only weigh 145 to 150. So you can imagine. In fact, I have a before and after I'll show you in a minute. I went from somebody who was in top peak physical fitness to somebody who looked like a skeleton. I was very skeletal, for lack of a better way to put it. And I'll show you. But it's deeper than just showing up to the gym. The people who are truly committed to physical fitness, the ones who've been at it for years, they've developed something most people don't have. That's a mindset that says, I must perform at my highest level. I must identify what's weak in me and attack it every single day, even when I don't feel like it. What's crazy is that mindset doesn't stay in the gym. It bleeds into everything else. And today I'm going to break down exactly how and why building that version of yourself is the most important business decision you'll ever make. Because at the end of the day, and you all know this, there are billionaires that die at 50 years old. What's the point of putting all this effort in to then not be able to live healthy? I've struggled with it recently. I told my wife, I don't care how long it takes. I'm just going to go every morning. I'm going to be there by 5 a.m. and I'm going to take as much time as I need to get a good workout in, sit in the sauna, and just do me. I have some talking points that I want to go over before I get to the quote of the day. The first one is that discipline isn't just showing up, it's hunting your weaknesses. Most people think discipline means consistency, and consistency matters, don't get me wrong. But the people who are truly locked in physically, they take it further than that. They don't just show up, they show up with intention. They look at themselves honestly and ask, where am I weak? What am I avoiding? What's uncomfortable that I need to go straight at? Bad at cardio? They don't skip it. They prioritize it. Weak in certain muscle groups? That's where they focus. They struggle with nutrition? They address it head on instead of pretending it's not an issue. They hunt weaknesses instead of hiding from them. And that same instinct shows up in business. The version of you that attacks a weak squat, that's the same version of you that looks at your close rate and says, this isn't good enough. I'm going to work on this every day until it is. That's the version of you that audits your operations honestly instead of avoiding the numbers you don't want to see. That's the version of you that has the hard conversation with the underperforming employee or contractor instead of letting it slide another week. You don't get to be selective about this. The standard that you hold yourself to in the gym becomes the standard you hold yourself to everywhere. One standard, one identity. And that identity either hunts weaknesses or makes excuses for it. Number two is confidence isn't arrogance. It's a signal. Talk about something people don't like to admit. Physical presence matters in business, not in a vain way, not in an appearance-obsessed way, but when you walk into a room or you get on a Zoom call or you post content online, this is an energy that comes through. And that energy is either communicating, I'm in control of my life, or it isn't. Here's like the real psychology behind it. When someone meets you and you're clearly taking care of yourself, their subconscious is doing quick math. This person has a routine. This person is disciplined. This person doesn't quit on things. That's what that communicates. Nobody says that out loud, but everybody thinks it. And in business, that matters more than people want to admit. Clients, they want to hire people who have their act together. Employees want to follow leaders who show up with energy. Referral partners want to align with people who like or people who look like they're winning. Y'all know it's true. Confidence that comes from physical discipline is different from surface level confidence. It's not like I feel good today. It's I've been putting in the work, even when I didn't feel like it, and I know what I'm made of. That kind of confidence shows up in how you price your services, how you handle objections, how you respond when a customer tries to lowball you. You don't get that confidence from a seminar. You build it one rep at a time. I just had a customer email me. She's been getting her house cleaned by us for 2 or 3 years now. Every time she asks for a discount. And every time I sort of get a kick out of telling her no. The third thing is mental toughness. Because first you survive it and then you sort of chase it. Let me say that again. The third thing is mental toughness. First you survive it, then you chase it. I want you to think about that. The hardest moment of your last workout, or the last time you try to run for a long time. The moment when your body is done, your lungs are burning, and your legs feel like concrete. And that voice in your head says, that's enough. You can stop. What you do in that moment is one of the most important decisions you make all day, because that voice shows up in business too. That's why I'm correlating these two things. It shows up when a client cancels and your brain says, maybe this isn't working. It shows up when you've had a bad week and your brain says, maybe I'm not cut out for this. It shows up when you're trying to scale and everything feels like it's falling apart and your brain says, maybe I should just go get a job again. Same voice, same test, different arena. And here's what the gym teaches you that nothing else does. That voice is lying. You have more in you than your feelings are reporting. But here's where it gets really interesting, because at first, yeah, you're just surviving it. You're white knuckling through the hard reps. You're dragging yourself to the gym on bad days. You're pushing through because you're committed to it. That's the first level. But the people who stay consistent long enough, something totally shifts. They start surviving the discomfort. Then they start seeking it, because somewhere along the way, their brain has made a new association. Discomfort means I'm growing, and growing is the whole point. So instead of dreading the hardest part of the workout, they go looking for it. They add more weight. They shorten the rest periods. They find the edge and push past it on purpose. That's the second level. And that's where the real transformation happens. In business, it looks something like this. You stop waiting to feel ready before you do the hard thing. You start choosing the hard thing because you know that's where the growth is. Difficult sales calls, you want them. Tough conversations with your team, you handle it the same day. You don't let it drag. Any weak areas of your business, you attack it first, not last. This reminds me of the people that come to me and say, I've got my business going. I've got 3 or 4 cleaners lined up. I've vetted them. They're ready to go. I'm not sure when I'm going to turn my ads on yet, but I've got cleaners ready to go. Well, here's a news flash for you. If you're one of these people and you're nodding along right now and you feel like I'm talking to you, your cleaners are not going to stick around unless you have customers. Don't think of this as what's good for you. Think about what's good for them. If you don't have what's good for them, they go find it somewhere else. But for some reason, most people, when they start, they don't attack customer acquisition. Maybe they think it's the toughest part. And in the beginning, maybe it is. But once you do, it becomes much, much easier. In fact, most of the people in the program get overbooked and they have trouble keeping up with the demand. It's the truth. You develop an appetite for hard things. And an entrepreneur with that appetite, they're almost impossible to stop. Number 4 is energy and clarity are your real competitive advantage. Listen closely. Energy and clarity are your real competitive advantage. This isn't talked about enough. The quality of your decisions is worth more than any marketing strategy, any system, any tool you could implement in your business. And the quality of your decisions is almost entirely determined by the state of your body. When I'm training consistently, sleeping well, eating right, I handle a difficult client call with composure instead of emotion. I see solutions instead of problems. I make decisions faster with more confidence. I don't spiral when something goes wrong. When I'm not, the opposite happens every time. Think about the decisions you've made at your worst when you're exhausted, burned out, running on caffeine and stress. Take another sip of this coffee. Right on cue. You like that? How many of those decisions would you make again? Probably not many. Now think about how many decisions you're making right now in that same state. Because if your body is depleted, your thinking is depleted. And a depleted entrepreneur doesn't build a thriving business. They build a stressful job with their name on it. It's not about looking good. It's about performing at a level your business needs you to perform at. Your body is the hardware your business runs on. Sounds like shit Steve Jobs would say. I'm not comparing myself to Steve Jobs, but I read that somewhere, so I notated it. Your body is the hardware that your business runs on. If the hardware is slow, crashing, or overheating like a computer, the software doesn't matter. It doesn't run. Number 5 is that the gym is the most honest relationship you'll ever have. Business can lie to you. A good month can make you feel invincible. A bad month can make you feel like a failure. It can give you so much uncertainty sometimes. But the gym doesn't have an agenda. You either showed up or you didn't. You either went harder than last week or you didn't. You either did all your reps or you cut corners. There's no algorithm. There's no luck. There's no market conditions. Just you and the work. That's it. And honesty is rare, especially for entrepreneurs who are really good at convincing themselves they're busy when they're actually just avoiding hard things. The gym forces a reckoning. The gym says, here's where you actually are, not where you think you are, not where you told someone you were. Here is the truth. And that kind of brutal clarity is super valuable because it translates directly into how you audit your business. Can you look at your numbers honestly? Can you acknowledge that a process isn't working without ego getting in the way? Can you hold yourself to a standard even when no one else is watching? The gym trains you to do all of that. It builds the muscle of radical honesty. And radical honesty is the foundation of every business that actually scales. Take some more of that radical honesty. Hold on. Let me take a sip of it. Number 6 is you start attracting the right people. This is a big one. There's a principle I've seen play out time and time again. You don't attract high-level people by accident. We're all together here for a reason. I think about what I'm going to say for every show with great intention. I want to be a magnet to you. You attract them by becoming the kind of person that they respect. I've come to understand that. And people who are serious about their lives, serious about their business, their health, their growth, they can spot someone who walks the walk. They're not impressed by the highlight reel. They watch how you carry yourself, how you talk about your habits, whether your actions match your words. And when you consistently hit the gym, something shifts. The people you talk to shift. The conversations you have shift. The rooms you start getting invited to shift. Not because the gym is magic, but because who you become from it starts to align with the level you're trying to reach. I believe that. High-level clients want to work with disciplined people. You know that $25 million house that was for sale that I told you they're paying $2,000 every week to clean, sometimes twice a week if they're having a lot of showings? The real estate agent, she used to be a bikini competitor, physique competitor. She has clients like that, a whole Rolodex of them. It's not a coincidence. When she got out of her car and stood up, she wasn't wearing a bikini, of course, but I could just tell that she was a force to be reckoned with. There was something about her energy that was very, very clear to me that she was working with people, lots of money, a high-end clientele, celebrities. And she wanted me and my company to meet that level of expectation. She was looking for it. I could tell. I could tell by the way she walked. I could tell by the way she moved. I could tell by the way she took her sunglasses off and looked at me when we started talking outside. High-level clients want to work with disciplined people. Top-performing employees want to work under disciplined leaders. Real partnerships form between people who respect each other's standards. That starts with you deciding what kind of person you're going to be and then proving it every single day. Taj, can you put up the quote of the day, please? Everybody loves this segment of the show. I love saying that. Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is, let's put it this way. Tony Robbins looks at Jim Rohn as the GOAT. Tony Robbins looked up to Jim Rohn. He studied Jim Rohn. He's read every one of Jim Rohn's books. And Jim Rohn said a lot of things, but this one really sticks out. Jim Rohn said, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. Now, there's a lot of other sayings like that. Jim Rohn's right. A lot of things sound simple until you sit with them. This is one of those. Your body is not just where you live. It's the operating system for everything else in your life. Your entire energy runs through it. Your thoughts run through it. Your decisions, your conversations, your leadership, all of it runs through your body. And most entrepreneurs treat their body like a rental car. They push it hard. They don't maintain it. They figure someone else will deal with the consequences later. But here's the thing. There's no later. This is the only version of you that shows up today. And if you're running on empty and you're skipping sleep and you're avoiding movement, eating whatever's convenient, you are degrading the one asset that every other asset depends on. Your business needs a version of you that can think clearly under pressure. That can lead a team through hard seasons. That can show up with energy and conviction even when things are uncertain. And you can't outsource that. You can hire for a lot of things. You cannot hire someone to have the discipline, the mental toughness, and the resilience that your business needs from you. Only that can come from the inside. And it starts with how you treat the body you're asking to carry all of it. Let's play today's clip. Go ahead and run that clip on 2, please. I just say that because they say it on the news all the time. Play that clip on 3. It doesn't actually mean anything on our show.
That I have ever encountered has gone through not a month or a year, but many years of doing work without reward, where they have to do things that other people find boring, and they have to sacrifice things that everyone finds interesting, that most people want to do during that entire season of their life. And they basically sacrifice a season of other things that they would prefer to do stuff that they would not prefer to do because of the one thing they want most.
Yep. It's true. On the days that I don't feel good, I often remind myself what I actually want. I've told you guys this before. If you're new, I wake up every morning. The very first thing I do, I reach for my phone, I turn off my alarm. And I have my calendar set for an alarm that goes off at 3 a.m. So no matter what time I wake up, I usually wake up between 3:30 and 4. But I'm in bed early. But when I wake up and I turn my phone off, my Google Calendar shows me something. And it's on repeat every day at the same time. It's my immediate goals, the things in life that I want to achieve. So I wake up right away and I look at that list. It's a short list. And then I log into Bank of America and I check my bank accounts every day. Same exact routine every day. Before I go to the bathroom, before I drink water, before I have coffee, those are the things that I do. Because I want to remind myself why I'm doing this. Because if you don't, sometimes it's too hard. Again, it's simple, but it's not easy. If you're going to take away something from this episode, if you're watching the replay and you're going to take a valuable lesson away from this video, here's what I want you to understand today. People who are genuinely committed to physical fitness, the ones who have been at it a long time, they're not just chasing a look. They've developed a mindset. And that mindset is that they're saying to themselves, I am always a work in progress, and it is my responsibility to perform at my highest level, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. They wake up, they identify their weaknesses, not to feel bad about themselves, but to attack them. If they're bad at cardio, they run more. If they have weak legs, they go heavier on leg day. If they struggle with the diet, they meal prep. They address it. They don't avoid it. They don't hide from what's hard. They walk straight towards it. And here's what separates them from everyone else. They show up on the days that they don't feel good as well. Not just the days they're energized and motivated and excited. The tired days, the sick days. The days when they've only slept 4 hours and everything hurts. They show up anyway. Maybe not at 100%, but they show up. And over time, and this is the part nobody talks about, they stop dreading it. They start craving it. It becomes, everybody that knows, that's been to the gym and got through that part, starts to become addicted to it. Because their identity has shifted. They no longer are somebody who tries to work out. They are somebody who works out. Full stop. That addiction, that love for the process of becoming is exactly what the best entrepreneurs have to. That's what it is. That's exactly what the best entrepreneurs have. They're not grinding because someone told them to. They're grinding because they genuinely cannot stand the idea of leaving potential on the table. They attack their business weaknesses the same way they attack their physical ones. The first job I ever had, I'll never forget this. guys in my fraternity were working at this mortgage brokerage in La Jolla, fancy place in San Diego. And they were all driving really nice cars, Porsches, and 7 Series BMWs. And I looked at that. I was young, and I wasn't always like a car guy or anything, but I was just thinking to myself, how do you afford that? So I wanted to get a job there. One of the guys got me an interview, and I walked into the waiting room and had a big sign on the wall, and it said, "Being poor sucks." I'll never forget it. It was green and gold, and it said, "Being poor sucks." You know what else is green and gold? That right there, my logo. Stuck with me the whole time. If you're bad at sales, practice it every day until you're not. You struggle with systems, study and build it until it clicks. If your weakness is leadership, work on it, even when it's uncomfortable to look at. That's the real transfer, not just discipline, the obsession with becoming optimal. And once that takes root in you, in your body and in your business, you don't have an off switch anymore. Look, I'm not here to guilt trip anyone. I'm here because I genuinely believe that most of you have more potential than you're currently accessing. And a lot of that potential is locked behind habits you keep telling yourself you'll fix eventually. But eventually is costing you, not just in the gym, in your business, in your income, in the version of yourself your family sees every day. The people who win in this industry long term, they're not the smartest. They're not the most talented. They're the ones who had the best head start. They're the ones who decided at some point that mediocrity was no longer an option for them. In the gym and in the business. They looked at their weaknesses and said, "I'm coming for you." Then they showed up every single day, even the days they had nothing to give, and they gave something anyways. And somewhere along the way, they stopped doing it because they had to. They started doing it because they couldn't imagine who they'd be without it. That's the goal. Not motivation, not the hustle culture, not grinding until you break, becoming someone who is genuinely addicted to their own growth. Someone who attacks hard things, not in spite of the discomfort, but almost because of it. Because they've learned that discomfort is just the feeling of getting better. And getting better is the whole point. I'll leave you with this thought. Your business has a ceiling, and that ceiling is you. The question isn't whether your business can grow. The question is, are you growing fast enough to keep up with it? Start in the gym. Hunt those weaknesses. Attack them every single day. Fall in love with that process. And then become the person your business has been waiting on. I got some comments here. Turn this around so I can see a little bit better. Hey, Seth is here. Seth, good to see you. We'll have some time coming up here soon. Reaper kills. I like your comments, Reaper. What'd you say here? When I had my business, I started working out just out of pure boredom, but it really helps build discipline. Yeah, definitely. Kayla says, discomfort means I'm growing. It's a great quote. It's true. It's true. Aaron says, I'm in analysis paralysis at the moment with setting up ads. Any tips to simplify it all for me? Yeah, Aaron, you know what? A lot of people get in this situation. If you're stuck on ads, just think about it this way. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes and go through the buyer journey. If you were looking for a cleaning service, what are the things that you would want somebody to communicate to you in the advertisement? You would want to know about their proof. You'd probably want to show a little bit of before and after. You'd probably want to tell them about your guarantees. You'd want to give them reassurance that they could trust you. I mean, this is really, don't overthink it. That's it. I showed you my ads. I hate to say it, but the beautiful thing about AI, you don't have any before and afters until you get some. Go tell Claude or Nano Banana to make you some. If you're really trying hard to deliver a great service, do what you got to do to get started. Eventually, you'll have plenty of them and you won't need them anymore. Kayla says, I used to be a powerhouse in the gym, but life became complicated and I ended up stopping. You're inspiring me to go back. Oh, good. I'm glad. Now, to Kayla's credit, she does have kids. She's got a lot going on. When you become Kayla, I don't know if Kayla is a single parent or if she has a co-pilot or co-parent, but she's running this business. She's got kids to worry about, and she's got to, bring money in too at the same time as she's starting. So a lot on your plate. Kayla's going to be a guest tomorrow on the show. So if anybody wants to hear from her, she's in the Founder Intensive 90-Day Build program right now. She's right in the middle of it, and she'll be a guest on tomorrow's show. If you are interested in the program, show up tomorrow, ask her questions. She'll tell you. She'll be real with you. You'll have plenty of time. She'll be up for maybe 10 to 15 minutes, but plenty of time to ask her questions. And remember, if you want me to help you with any part of your business, I offer virtual assistant recruiting. I make incredible cleaning business websites that convert like crazy. Or if you just want me to help you grow or start it, you can be in either program. Taj, will we put up my email again? Thank you. If anybody has any questions, just shoot me an email or DM me on Instagram. I get a lot of Instagram DMs, and I'm grateful for those. Just keep in mind one thing. If you ask a complex question about advertising or, just something complex, I can't answer it for two reasons. Number one, I need more context, and I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. And number two, I save those kinds of answers for people in my training group because they're complex. And if I were to write them out on the DM, it would take a long time, and I just wouldn't have time to answer everybody. So, if I can answer, I absolutely will. But if I can't, then I'll let you know. Because typically everybody's in a little bit different situation. And when it comes to advertising and building a customer acquisition engine, it often relies on testing certain things. I mean, when I first started my cleaning business, I did nothing but run Facebook ads. I haven't run a Facebook ad in, I don't even know, 9 to 12 months. I just don't run them anymore. Google is so good to me. Everything I do is Google local service ads and Google ads, the pay-per-click. It used to be called AdWords. I think that's gone. It depends what market you're in because there's always different supply and demand. You might be able to get Facebook leads a lot less expensive. And some of the people in the program are doing great with them. So, it's a hard question to ask. If you join the build program, we set it all up for you and test it. And then that way we start to understand what's working better. But as much as I know and as much expertise as I have, I can't predict the markets everywhere, but I can predict I can't predict, but I can control how we get to the answer. And that's where the value lies. I want everyone to understand that the reason why I offer these programs is because I believe in the investment. If you're looking at it and saying, oh God, I'd really like to be in that, but I don't want to pay that much money. To me, a $10,000 investment for the upside of making $10,000 or more per month, learning how to do that, there's no question about the value that you're getting. I mean, people pay for school, pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for college, and they get out and they don't know how to make money. I'm not knocking college. I think there's a lot of value in college. I loved college. It was the network that I built and the experiences I had. That was invaluable. But did I get out and know how to make money? No, my first 6 businesses failed. I got some questions here coming in. Yeah, Kayla, I'm looking forward to it tomorrow as well. Rusky5. I've doing ISA for the past 2 weeks and LSA, sorry, and hardly any calls for $1,000 a week budget. Your budget's too high. Turn it down to $270. $270. You'll get better results. Reaper Kills. I haven't ran ads in over 4 years, but I still somewhat keep to date on them. The Andromeda update for Meta is supposed to be really good, but doesn't perform long. You need to keep creating and duping. Yep. Yeah. So the Andromeda update, what it did was it favors creatives. So if you're really good at positioning and offers, it favors you. But you have to make a lot of it. The ads get something called ad fatigue. And after a week or so, the impressions start to come down. People start to become immune to them because there's so much content on the internet. There's so much content on social media. So before you needed 6 to 8 ad sets. Now you need 50. And then you just have to keep doing it and doing it. That's part of the game. But it rewards you really well for doing that. That's the catch. You have to work harder, but you make more money. You get better results. That's a good way in. Yeah, Reaper, you definitely know what you're doing. I love when you comment. Rusky K5, I emailed you regarding the VA, was wondering the cost. I charge $2,200 and I recruit, hire, and train the virtual assistant for you and then install them in your business. They're guaranteed. If you don't like them or you don't think they're performing well, I'll replace them. But usually after my team trains them, they come in and they do a great job. They're native English speakers. And on average, they cost about $7 an hour. I don't keep the gateway. All I do is take the one-time fee and then they become yours. They go on your payroll. You don't pay me and then I pay them. I don't believe in that model. Does that answer your question? And I owe somebody an audit. By the way, if you want to get an audit, if you feel stuck in your cleaning business, whatever stage you're at, if you want me to give you a free audit, I really enjoy that process, seeing what can be improved, and then I'll give you a game plan. It's free. So Taj, will you put up my email again, please? You can email me, john@johnmargalit.com. It doesn't matter if you're watching this live or you're watching a replay. If you want me to audit your business for free and give you a game plan over the phone, it takes about 15 to 20 minutes max. We do it over Zoom. All you have to do is shoot me an email and then we'll coordinate. Sometimes it gets super busy, so just bear with me, but I will try to fit you in as soon as possible. There was a really nice guy that we were talking about Airbnb cleaning, and he reached out, and I was trying to fit him in this weekend, but I'm going to try to hit him up today or tomorrow to see if we can squeeze it in. Any more questions before we wrap today? I'm really glad we had really good numbers today. I could see on every platform, I can see more and more people were on. I'm glad that people take this seriously, the topic of today. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. Alex Ramosi, that clip, he said, it's not just about a year or two, it's an entire season. Remember, Gary Vee gets asked, how long do I need to create content for before it becomes effective? And Gary Vee's answer is forever. It's just part of your life now. That's how you have to look at things. The world is different now. All right. I have a good show for you tomorrow. Kayla will be on tomorrow. You can ask her any questions. Aaron says, after we pay $2,200 for the VA, how much is the VA? $7. That's where they start at $7 an hour. So if they're working, 40 hours a week, that's $280 per week for a full-time person. You can't beat that, especially after I have them trained. It's a really, really wise thing to do. And by the way, if you're wondering how people in my program have full-time jobs and build their business, they have VAs. They have somebody answering the phone. They have somebody scheduling. They have somebody recruiting the cleaners. The VAs do everything. It's very effective. And if you're bursting at the seams like some people are and you can't keep up with the demand, hit me up. I'll find somebody for you. Reaper Kills, I have 2 questions. What is usually the monthly net profit for the people that you do the CEO Accelerator path for? Well, I mean, that's kind of a open-ended question. How about, can you put a finite period of time on it so I could be a little bit more specific? Maybe like after the 90 days. Everybody gets to 10,000 a month. That's the floor. And then the net is somewhere between 20 and 30%, depending on how they can manage their expenses. But if you're talking 6 months out, then 25,000 is definitely like I would say the average. That's what they're doing. And then the net profit, probably $5,000 a month off the 25,000. Maybe 4,500 to 5,000. Maybe, it's going to fluctuate a little bit. Some people are tighter with expenses. Depends how you manage the P&L. Did that answer your question? Okay, cool. Second question is, if you help with, it's blocking, man. If you help with expanding after some time. Do you mean like after some time goes on, do I help them like grow the business more or go into a different market? Is that what you mean by expanding? If that's your question, of course. Once you're in my program, you're in it. Then for the first 90 days, we give you a lot of attention. You go through a certain process. But after that, you're still part of the community. You can still ask me questions. You could still set up a call with me. I want everyone to have long-term success. Gotcha. Honestly, if you're reading his questions, and they're good, the second question is, I don't think that there will ever be the point where somebody would want to go to a different city. If you get, I'm going to do 2 million this year, and I live in a big city. I live in Las Vegas, but I don't think I would consider going to another city until I reach 4 or 5 million. I feel like I'm just scratching the surface here at 2 million. So I think that every city has a lot of people in it. And remember, you only need 30 to 40 regular customers recurring to like make some really good profit. So imagine if you have tens or hundreds of thousands or millions of people in your city, there's plenty of people. Think about it, all the houses and apartments, all the office buildings and strip malls. I mean, there's tons of cleaning to be had. Tons and tons and tons. Does that help? I mean, if you wanted to scale to another city, of course I would help. But I would advise against it unless you're doing huge numbers. The only one that I helped that was justified was Nicole. You guys met Nicole from Posh. We expanded her second location, but she had somebody there that was like taking care of it on the ground. And when they have big jobs, when they do big post-construction jobs, she does big $15,000 to $30,000 post-construction cleanups. She goes to Dallas, Fort Worth. She flies out and she's directing traffic. She's helping clean. She's hands-on. Sometimes she's remote. Sometimes she's on the site and she's actually cleaning and directing traffic. So if you want to run the business that way, maybe. I hope that makes sense and I hope that helps. But chances are, whatever your city you're in, there's plenty of money to be made. And if you're considering, I'm going to wrap up in a minute. If you're considering starting your own business, there are different options out there. Cleaning is one of them. The reason why I chose cleaning is because it's a very simple service. Instead of trading or selling your own time and labor for money. You're selling other people's time and labor for money. And when you do that, there are many types of labor and skills that you could sell other people's time of, but some of them are complex and you have to qualify people. And the talent pool is smaller and smaller the more specialized you get. Cleaning is such a simple, basic life skill. You can find plenty of people that know how to clean a house that want to make decent money. So for that reason, cleaning to me is the easiest one. It's my favorite. And after all the businesses I've ever tried, it's the only one that actually worked. And I know it's because of the simplicity. I never had to train anyone how to clean. I never had to deal with anything like that. I just hire people that already know how to clean. I mean, if you speak to somebody and they've raised kids and, you know, they've just kept up their house or apartment, like chances are they can go out and make your customers happy. So, I mean, it's very, very simple. All right. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a nice treat to have Kayla on. She's very motivated. Like I said, she has kids and she has to pick them up from school at a certain time and deal with different elements that a lot of people have to deal with. So, you know, I think that you'll be able to connect tomorrow. You'll be able to connect with her. You'll be able to ask her questions. And I believe she's going to be brutally honest about it. So tune in tomorrow. I have one more question from Reaper. What's with the name, dude? Reaper Kills. It's pretty creepy, but I know you're a smart dude, so I respect it. Let me see. I just think it's funny. What if I already have a connection to really good cleaners? Well, honestly, the cleaners don't really matter that much. I mean, if you already have a connection to great cleaners, all the better. But like, honestly, everyone has to stop worrying about that and they have to focus on building a customer acquisition machine. Because when you have lots of jobs and you have lots of good customers that tip well, and you can give cleaners 40, 50 hours a week, they line up to come and work for you. So don't worry about that as much. Just focus on how do I get, 10 plus people calling in every day to book cleaning. And then how can I take 20 to 30% of those people that called in, make them happy enough to then get on a regular schedule with me. And then it starts to compound. And then you start getting recurring revenue and you look at the next month, you already have 25,000 coming in before you have any new customers. That's when you start to like stack your chips. That's a whole different ballgame. I hope that answered the question. Gaming. That's right. I forgot about that. Gaming name. You did tell me that actually. Never made a different YouTube. People always usually just say Reaper. Yeah. I mean, that's what I called you. Yeah. Gaming. That's right. You're right. Anybody else have any other questions? This is good stuff. Reaper, are you going to start a cleaning business or are you thinking about it or you just like to tune in for the, hopefully I'm entertaining. I like to entertain and educate at the same time if I can. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. I want to remind everybody how grateful I am for everybody showing up. If you need help, DM me. And if you don't follow me on TikTok, give me a follow. I'm trying to build up there. I would appreciate it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
If this helped you think differently, you're in the right place. Subscribe, stick with me, and let's keep building one episode at a time.